The train with the sign is leaving. It is speeding up, leaving a majority of people on the edge of the platform. So I reassure you, if you still haven't gotten on the train, or if you have just one foot inside, you probably still have one last chance, maybe one more shot to go to the masses to look for the big gains in crypto, but you don't want to do whatever, you need to be strategic. If you are interested, then we are going to check it out right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the Road to Millions in English. Today we are meeting for a new super important video because I am going to talk to you about crypto. The train is leaving and there are a lot of people who miss it. And there you have it. Perhaps this is your case for a person asking the question of what should I do today when I see the big gains that have been made over the last month? That seems complicated. You may have the impression of having missed the opportunity, but don't worry, that's not the case at all. You missed out on gains. Comfortable, very comfortable, and the first thing you have to do in order not to miss this kind of opportunity is to subscribe to my YouTube channel, activate the notification bell. If you don't know, it's been over 1 year and a half that we do the work in particular via the 100k challenge. It's a challenge that I set up, in fact, about 1 year and a half ago. I started with a capital of $10,000 to invest with a super simple strategy. Everyone can set it up, even the old lady next door can do it. It's as simple as possible, so that it is accessible to everyone. And the goal is to transform the $10,000 into $100,000 on this new cycle of cryptos, which is only arriving here for 2024, even with my super simple strategy that only needs to be managed approximately once a week, accessible to beginners, and we are already over 20% gain on the portfolio. And since the strategy is simple with a certain number of technical limitations for the greatest number, that's really what it's all about. We had some great performance from the token type Thor, still 260% on FTT, 233% on Celestia, 168 on Solana, 170 on Caspa, etc. Here plus 122% on AVAX, 123% on Immutable X, and you could go on and on. Those performances made double digits on the space of 30 days. As an indication to put into perspective, it's really huge. The SP500 is an American list that represents the 500 largest American companies. And well, on average, and when the conditions are good, it gives you an annual performance of around 10%. So in 1 month, we pulverized the annual performance of a well-known index like the SP500. So that shows to what extent we have had huge gains in the crypto field. You can continue, you can see that almost every top 100 is largely positive here for 30 days. When we see it deconstructed like that, and already that clearly gives us a clue that the bull market is back. I had already estimated and I had talked about it on my channel that it was back in particular on Bitcoin, but the altcoins are still on the bear market phase. There we go again for altcoins. It can indeed be the start of the new cycle of crypto, and most people estimate that it will happen at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. Personally, I put it in a position in advance since I thought it would happen sooner than expected. When we see performances like that, we say to ourselves, oh, I missed the train, and if I run after it, then when I return, I'm going to get smashed. I'm getting wrecked, because certainly taking over the profit is going to see a massive correction as usual, and I'm going to be the Joker once again. So it's true and false at the same time. We will see that it's true that given the performance we have had over 30 days of corrections on the crypto market, a drop, at least temporary and violent if thought about, is really something that we can really consider to be extremely beneficial if we want to continue to increase, which doesn't go up too quickly, and you won't end up breaking your face too badly. So effectively, if you were not exposed to crypto and you come in today and put all in your risk getting a good -10 to -15% on big crypto like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or even a good -30% or more on other cryptos, a token like Ordinal, which made 600% in 1 month, you can definitely go for -50% easily and very quickly. I'm not saying that it would do it, but it is still a probability that is higher as the crypto takes gains like that without taking a break. So what to do when we are not on board the train, or when we are only half inside, when we would like to expose ourselves a little more so as not to miss the full potential of this cycle? That's great, we'll see that. So the first thing is that we have to put this into perspective. And here I invite you to go watch some of my old videos, which are very relevant, extremely relevant to this subject. which explains a little bit of the big picture or what we can expect on crypto for the months or even the years to come in the super relevant videos that I made here in 2023. And well, you can go and see this video here, Bitcoin risks shocking everyone. Actually, when I released this video, Bitcoin was around $20,000 and I explained exactly why over the month it was going to explode. Today we're at over 35,000. So indeed my predictions were good, my analysis was good, this video is still relevant. I advise you to go see it. I also invite you to watch this video here, Bitcoin watch this video or regret later. That's all in the title, it's not even cryptic, go watch it. This video explains to you why we are having incredible excitement around the crypto world and why it is interesting to position yourself today. And also here you have two interesting videos, why according to me it risks being the last bull run of this magnitude, and here a major signal which took place. After watching all the videos, one after the other, you'll fill yourself with knowledge and you will have a better overall picture. We can then come back to the subject here and we'll put it into perspective. When you have seen the videos and you have understood the cycle of logic around crypto on Bitcoin, well, you will have understood that we have phases of expansion called the bull market, we have phases of contraction, of correction, these are called bear market, and these phases alternate in cycles of approximately 4 years, in which the rhythm is marked by the halving, which is the moment every 4 years when the rewards on Bitcoin are cut into like that. I explain it in more detail in my other videos. Well, you will understand that we have just finished a cycle of expansion here and we have a cycle of contraction and correction. Here, this correction is potentially over the bottom here on the lowest points that we had for this cycle on a quest around $15,000. You can see this green dot, and that's when I said that I was almost sure that we were leaving, and which is very interesting to put its lost cartridges. It's almost nothing here for a month in February 2023. Well, if you've missed it, it doesn't matter, we have another opportunity here to break off these lines, and I talked about this event in my previous video to highlight perspective, so you can see that Bitcoin certainly has regained a lot of value since its lowest point on this cycle. It has still regained 130%, but as you can see, it is still much lower than its historical peak here at $69,000. We are still less than 47% compared to this high. Minus 47%, what does it mean? That means that if the Bitcoin comes searching for its peak again, they are at $69,000. Well, you multiply your money by 2. When you have minus 50% on the decline, if we want to resume, it is minus 50% upwards. We must make another 200%, so the potential nothing on Bitcoin, and still enormous 100% high if it obviously and only if it comes to reach no more historical, and let's imagine that the gains can be increased even more if it has broken its highest historic and reached the new peak, but well, we don't know now. You can see now that there are other cryptos like Ethereum, for example, the second largest cryptocurrency on the market, which is still at a discount of minus 56% compared to its all-time high, and other cryptos are still much lower, and big performers on the previous cycle here like AVAX, which is waking up. You can see here which gives us beautiful bullish impulse candles, and it comes if you compare it to its historical peak. It is still at minus 86%, that is to say you can still multiply its value by more than 5 before even attacking its former historic summit. And so it's when you realize that certainly we are in turmoil, that we've already had huge gains over the last month, but compared to the gains that we can still do in the year to come, we are still ahead of the mass, which will only arrive once Bitcoin reaches its old historical peak, where we will say once Bitcoin is around $50,000. So of course you have missed a good part of the increase. However, you are not totally in trouble. You can still take this cycle on its way and stop regretting every day when you look at the graphs. So now, how to get back in if you're still not exposed to crypto? If you want to expose yourself, you will have to do things correctly, especially not go all in. Personally, it is a mistake that I made many times when I was a beginner, especially in 2017, 2018 and even 2019. I had big cartridges, sent everything I could all at once, and really, what was I doing? Well, when we had like those 30 consecutive days of increase, what comes next? It almost rewrites straight away, and sometimes minus 20, minus 30, see minus 40, minus 50%. And well, looking at money compared to what I had, on second thought I could have invested this in a much much better way. There are three possibilities when you want to get into an asset that has already taken incredible prices here over a short period of time. First thing is to say to yourself, I missed a train on this asset, I'm going to move on and I want to invest in a similar asset that offers the same type of service, but which has not yet performed. So you will have to identify what type of crypto it is. It's a layer 1, is it a layer 2, exchange crypto, is it an oracle for example, or crypto that is linked to artificial intelligence, or even assets that are linked to the real world. You will have to define this category, see who the competitors are, what are the other cryptos of the same kind, and find one which may be interesting and which does not have yet increased. Perhaps there you will be able to place some money on it and it will catch up with the first crop which was in your radar, and this is the first method. It requires slightly technical skills and it requires a lot of research to understand a little bit of what we're talking about. The second method is not accessible to everyone, but it's very interesting. When you have an active on which you do not return when it is necessary, well, I will take the example here of Kaspa that personally I missed here. We see that it is completely vertical. We are making a parabolic climb. I know very well that it is not sustainable in the long term, nor even in the medium term, and therefore I am not going into Kaspa at the moment. I want to have a little exposure on the Kaspa for this new cycle, but I will wait patiently until there is a correction on this active, a correction that is, well, it is like for example a given moment, or this asset will have a fairly violent free fall quite quickly. We also had one here, and well, I'm going to wait until the Kaspa causes another fall so that investors here who are stuffed during the last days and take their profit, and it corrects a little bit, and at this moment here when the Kaspa has not been at least -25, -30%, I will start to go step by step on it to come up with an average acquisition price which will be acceptable in relation to the underlying trend, and that can be applied to all the crypto which have a parabolic increase here. For example, you have Tau, which also has a very vertical one here at a given moment. There will be a correction that I can guarantee you. It will also be the case of Solana, which is very vertical at the moment. It's the same thing. There will be a correction, it will be corrected, and it can be a good time to enter into these moments of correction, especially during the bull market. The third method, and this is the simplest by far, it will be to tell you that I'm not an expert. I am not always behind the charts and I won't find the right moment, or maybe I will let myself be guided a little bit by my emotions. I will perhaps have a tendency to want to go in when it goes up, and when I see the gains explode, and conversely if it falls apart, I just said that perhaps it is such a good investment that I will be afraid and I wouldn't dare to go into a part of correction. If you know you are currently feeling FOMO, it is that in one way or another, as you are affected by your emotions, that is very human. We're all like that, especially at the start. It turns out that this strategy may be more suitable for you. You may need to set up a savings plan to schedule a DCA, a dollar cost average. To tell the truth, and if you want to know exactly what this this is, I advise you to go watch my video here on Binance where I present you the auto invest option. It's the best method of investment accessible to the greatest number of beginners and which still allows you to have a better result overall. To make it simple, and then you will go and watch the video which explains it all in detail, you will say to yourself, I have a certain amount to allocate in crypto, maybe $1,000. So we will divide it in 10 packages of $100, and these $100 will be allocated in crypto. Well, it's $100. I'm going to divide it into 20 packages of $5 each, and we're going to make a programmed investment plan where you're going to give yourself a duration that can be of 20 days. You can invest $5 every 20 days, and if the price, when you come up to go, you start to expose yourself to the price of the crypto at the price of the asset on which you will want to invest, like you're going to be exposed to the bone. But if on the other hand you arrive at the worst time and there is a big correction that the price falls on your crypto, and well, we'll be able to have lower acquisition price that will flatten over time, we will see an average price of acquisition which will allow you to avoid making big mistakes. And after the recurrence, you will want to put more on your investments, not necessarily every day. It can be every 3 days, it can be every week, it can be every few months on a larger sum, and so on. You do it your own way. Really, once again, if you're not an expert in crypto or if you are a beginner, well, I can only advise you to go to this video, to subscribe to my YouTube channel and activate the notification bell. bell so that you won't miss any of my videos or none of my tutorials, which will allow you to learn a lot of things about my good plans. I also recommend that you go and see other videos that I have been able to offer on my channel. So we will see soon for our next video. Ciao!